Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch and recap podcast. I'm Adam Ordall-Quinnell. I am here, as always, every week with my co-host with the mo-host.
Hey, everybody, it's Al Hirt. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt coming to you from the streets of San Diego. How you doing, buddy?
San Diegan. I'm doing well. The weather's awesome here. You know, everybody's so nice, traffic and all that. You know,
everybody's so nice there. Like you walk out of your apartment in the morning and everybody's like dancing in the streets. Like there's like
waving.
It's like when you go to
dogs.
It's like when you go to an Italian farmer's market in a Disney movie, but it's like San Diego.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's nice to know that I have a place to crash when I eventually go to Comic-Con to get COVID and fucking die. So we talk about Star Trek. We used to talk about it in the Valley, and now I'm still in the Valley. I'll probably 818 till I die, more than likely. Al was like, I'm moving to San Diego, and I was like, Jesus Christ, moving is the worst thing ever. You lived in a shitty spot though. You lived right by Dodger Stadium. If I lived by Dodgers, and just so you're clear, Al isn't saying it's pretty rough as in like there's gang activity.
Oh, no.
No, it's like it's basically living by Dodger Stadium is like if you lived next to the parking lot at Disneyland.
It's just a lot of noise.
Right.
And a lot of drunks, though.
And they have huge concerts out there and fucking... Man, I just couldn't. I mean, I'm pretty good with ambient noise outside, so I'd be able to sleep through a Kenneth Chesney concert or whoever would play at Dodger Stadium. What was when you lived by Dodger Stadium? What was like the coolest event or thing that you got to kind of hear for free? Because
Nothing crazy. I don't know. We were usually like out and going to another bar at that point. It was definitely just the Dodgers winning the World Series twice.
Oh yeah, I suppose you lived there. Did they ever win? Did they ever have the final game of the World Series at home here?
I think the second time it was at home. The first time it wasn't. But we were kind of relieved that the World Series had ended over at the other place. And not here.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because
it would have been a riot, you know. It already was, but it would have been worse.
Sports fans are such fucking turds because, like, you know, if your team loses, you run out into the street and you flip over a car in a rage. But if your team wins, you run out into the street and flip over a fucking car out of joy. And it's just like, I think your brain is piss, sir or madam.
And this... It's what is it? Last time or the first time they had one in our neighborhood. There was a bus that got lit on fire, and like there was somebody that we were out drinking with, and they had left, and they came back, and they're like, "My ride back home was on fire."
Whoa! They were on the bus.
No, they were about to get on there.
And they
had left the bar, you know, to like head home and get on the bus.
You know, I think I imagine
quite literally lit.
I imagine that like a comedy sketch where you're like waiting, you roll up to the bus stop or like you've been waiting there for like 10 minutes and then you look up at you look up and you're like, you see the bus slowly rolling down the street to your stop, but it's on fire. And you're just like, oh man, I guess I'll get the next one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like antics like that. It reminds me of there's a really funny TikTok that like encapsulated it, where I saw on Instagram, I guess. It was somebody going, when you're trying to just get your coffee, but it's a pop-up show, and it was like a tech house DJ, and the guy's in the back, and he's like, I just a straight face, and he's like, where's the line? Like, I just want my coffee. That's what a lot of Echo Park was like. A lot of pop-up shows, a lot of barbers, a lot of salons.
Pop-up barber techno show salon.
Yeah, right? You're like,
And when you say
really
salon, you mean like place where they do hair and makeup and stuff. You don't mean like
for sure.
the salon of ideas, like the drawing room. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad that you're liking it in San Diego. Everything is fine here. Last week we took the cats to the vet and they are healthy enough. Nice. Well, one thing that's not nice is they told us that based on like his muscular stuff, based on his like skeletal structure and shit, they think that Raphael's actually like way older than we thought he was. It's fine. Like, I mean, we kind of suspected, but we thought that they told us that Gojira was older than Raphael. Mm-hmm. And we always kind of thought that was weird because Raphael seems older. And none of the other vets that we've had see Raph has mentioned it, but this vet who we took him to last weekend was like, it says here that he is like 8 or 9 years old, but he seems quite a bit older than that. And I was just like, oh no. And he is kind of old manish though. And now it's like, now that they've told us he's old, like, I just talk to him like he's an old man. I'm like, oh, you're so old, buddy. Come here. Okay? And like, I pick him up. Like he went from like, I looked at him like a normal cat. And then they told me he's old. And then I looked at him and he's like a babushka, like a grandma with like a hood on and stuff. Like, oh, I'm so cold. But nah, he's fine. He's fine. And like their teeth are fine. And it's just, we did their blood work and we did like senior cat blood work for both of them. And they're healthy. And yeah, it was, as somebody who used to have a special needs pet and who fosters a special need pet now, I always just assume that when you take a cat to the vet, they're going to tell you that something that costs $1,000 needs to happen.
Oh yeah.
Like I just always assume. That's why we don't have a dog. You know, like we don't have a little dog because there's just no way we could afford like it, because when we had Clover and Wembley, like they both got cancer at the same time. Damn. So like we had to do all of these vet bills for both of them, like at the same, like I sold like a third of my collection of like art to like pay for end of life care basically for two cats, which is like it was totally worth it. I don't have any regrets, but it just sucks because like, you know, I want to have a little chihuahua or something, but I just know that I'd just be worried every day.
Yeah.
Like fucking Raphael the other day, we were eating dinner and I looked over into the kitchen and he just like spit out or like a huge piece of glass. Like,
whoa.
like we haven't broken a glass in the kitchen in months and months and months.
Oh, fuck.
But somehow this motherfucker, like, I don't know if he had it in his mouth or if he was just batting it or something, but I looked over and it looked like he just put his head down and there's a huge piece of glass in front of him. I was like, what are you doing, dude? You're already old. You're too old to be trying to eat glass, dude. And so like I'm just very gun shy around vets because I just
it's just
like
always
whenever
bad
we
news.
go. Well, plus like the vet that we go to is like where we put Clover down. So like I like walk by the room where they Michael Jacksoned my cat. That was one funny thing when we put Clover down. The vet was like he got the fent going, you know, and he was like. He was injecting my cat with fentanyl, and he said, "You know, this is the stuff they gave Michael Jackson." Oh it's just like, what, dude? Okay. I mean, only the best, right? Like, I mean, only the best for Clover. Well, hey, it was fun catching up, but I think we got to get to the first official segment of the show, which is
what does Al remember?
All right. Now, Al, what do you remember about Star Trek Season 1? Oh, Star Trek The Next Generation. That's important.
Oh, okay.
Season 1, Episode 9.
Nice.
Hide and Q.
Hyde and Q, was this because Q appeared the first time in the first episode?
This is the second appearance of Q.
Why was Q here?
I thought that this was just an absolute over the plate.
Hyde and Q?
Yeah, let's say this. So, do you remember when Q comes back? Like, so they've done Farpoint. He
comes back as like, a general or a captain, and he's like wearing all that war gear. And Kirk gets really pissed off.
You're getting there.
Picard,
you're getting there. So what?
This was the whole. He was him proving that like humans are cruel. Are always mean to each other, and they can't live in peace. And he tries to get
you remembering
what's his name?
Shit.
The first officer,
Riker.
And then the whole time Picard's like, "Oh my God, is Riker going to be converted to the Q continuum?"
Yeah, because he's trying to recruit
the Q Force.
The Q Force. He's trying to recruit. I think it'd be funny if they spelled the Q continuum with a Q, like the continuum.
Yeah, they spelled it funny. Yeah.
Anyway, so he wants Riker
show up as a bundle of lights, or is that the first one?
Well, he shows them his true form, and he's like a snake-headed monster, like a beholder thing, and then he's like I've had lots of forms, and then he's an admiral, and they're like, you didn't earn being an admiral.
Yeah,
you get that
Picard's like, that's disgusting. You're like,
you get that uniform off. You get that uniform off, Q. You fucking omnipotent piece of shit.
I felt like that's what my mom would always say whenever, as I was a kid, I'd be like, could I get like camo shorts or something? And she was like, nah, that's weird. You're not in the military.
You're not a military. You asked for camo shorts. It is weird. She was right.
And I was like, hindsight.
I rarely, I'd say 50-50.
Right, but it's like it is kind of weird.
50-50 high school student with camo shorts, not chill, like in my experience. Less.
Oh yeah, it's a coin toss for sure.
Less than chill.
You gotta look for the Triforce. The Triforce triangle around them.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Then you know they're cool.
That's like a diffuser.
So
Q tries to tempt Riker into the Q Force by giving him powers, and then Riker at the end says no, right?
Well, yes, but you're missing. Remember, they do like a war game type thing, where it's like Worf and Riker and Datar, and they are fighting pig-faced monsters that are dressed
funny
like
bits from Worf too, right?
Yeah, Worf is very funny in this episode, and Q is dressed as Napoleon at one point. Mm-hmm. It's like he's basically showing, like you said, how humans are warlike, and he's also, I think that trying to tempt Riker by giving him the Q powers, that's sort of the test itself. Like he's like, it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, he presents him with this whole war dilemma, and Riker's like, I want this all to stop, and Q's like, you can, don't you want to?
Yeah,
just do whatever you want.
Who dies that makes Riker decide that he wants to use the Q powers? Isn't somebody dies?
Somebody does die in the fight.
It's like Data or Worf? I think it's Data or Worf. We'll never know. Might have been. I think actually, yes. I think it was Data. And listeners, you can correct me on that.
It couldn't have been Worf. I don't think it was Worf.
We'll never know.
Really freaky for them to just, I don't know, come out of nowhere.
But then, what's the big denouement at the end? What's the denouement? How does the Picard Riker? Because Riker, he's got the Q powers, and he goes up onto the bridge. Do you remember like what he does on the bridge with the Q powers?
He starts to give, or he wants to like give everybody their wish or their dream, and he's like, Wesley, nobody treats you like a man. Nobody takes you seriously. Here, I'm gonna just make you an adult.
Yep. And then
Wesley's like a big dude.
Yeah, he looks like Launchpad McQuack. He looks like human Launchpad McQuack.
And he's just walking around looking, and he's like, Riker, I really do like this, but I kind of want to get there on my own.
right? And
Riker's like, I guess you're right.
What's he do for Geordi?
He tries to give Geordi a sight, yeah.
And Geordi's like, nah.
It feels unearned, dog.
Nah. Miss me with that, Geordi says.
Yeah, and Geordi, I think this is the second time, right? Or no, this is
that
the
comes
first
later.
Time. Yeah, this is the whole Ice Geordi thing.
They're always trying to make Geordi decide between his being a differently abled person and having robot eyes.
Remember that whole sequence too when they're on that ship that's abandoned and Picard's like, "This is what you see every day. What a nightmare."
Well, we can see what you see, Jordan. Data.
But I forgot. Like, I guess it was Wesley. It was Geordi.
What's Worf's wish?
A mate.
A lady.
Yep. That was strange.
And her at one point her butt jiggles very pronouncedly, I remember. And so how does it resolve? Well, how does Riker obviously becomes a Q and leaves the ship. And then this is the last episode that Riker's on, right?
No, he gives up the powers.
He gives up the powers because
it's like a monkey's paw thing, I always felt.
Mm-hmm. And also Picard is like, dude. Basically it comes down to Picard just being like, come on now. And Riker's Picard goes, come on, dog.
Yeah,
and Riker's like,
Riker tries to pull the whole like, oh, I knew the whole time, or I was fine the whole time, but there was little hints, that he was slipping.
Well, he smiles at the end. He's kind of like he thanks Picard basically for checking his bullshit. But hey, I think that's
that's right.
Oh, you remembered something else?
There was another part though when weren't they coming and helping out like a bunch of people, and like this mother's daughter died, and she was like, "This is awful. Oh my god, how could this be? How could you let this happen?"
Oh yeah,
and they
that's
look at
right.
Riker, and he's like, "Oh god,"
because he gives. That's right. We totally skipped over the fact that he gives Riker the Q powers, and then they go about their mission. No, Riker has the Q powers at the time. And he goes about the mission and he watches a kid die and he knows he could use his Q powers to save him, but he doesn't. And he's like, in the moment, he doesn't do it. But then later he's talking to Picard and he's like, I should have just fucking did it. I should have just fucking did that shit, bro.
And then that's when he's like starting to lose it.
Yeah, that's when he gets mad with power. But that's the... Yes. That's what I'll remember. And that brings us to the meat, the episode meat. I hope you're not a vegan because this episode's got some fucking meat. Today we are talking. Great. I think I liked it a lot as well. You know me. I love aging. I love a rapid aging makeup. We've talked about. I mean, they did it on Kirk.
This one's killer.
Got old.
This one's hilarious.
So this is episode 153 of our podcast. Isn't that nice? Isn't that fun?
Yes.
And today we're talking about the episode Unnatural Selection of Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is season 2, episode 7. It was written by John Mason and Mike Gray. It was directed by Paul Lynch, and it aired on January 30th, 1989, and the synopsis from Paramount Plus is: the crew grapples with a mysterious disease which accelerates the aging process, causing humans to die of old age within a matter of days.
Dun, 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 dun.
The ship becomes the beach that makes you old. Now, here's the thing. How do you think this episode opens, Al? Like, what do you think? What kind of mission do you think these motherfuckers are on at the beginning of this episode?
Aren't they just transporting something, or they're visiting an old officer at the, what is it? It's like Starbase India.
So it's good pull. Yes, it's Starbase India, but they are going there to meet a medical courier. No shit. No shit. You telling me the Enterprise gonna scoot some? They're gonna zip some medicine around out there? I had no fucking idea.
And it's probably for a colony in need.
And Picard is going to use this as an opportunity to kind of test Pulaski. He's like, look, I know she's super racist against Data, but let's see if she's a good doctor. And Picard and Troy meet in Picard's ready room. And this is funny because they're talking, and basically Picard's like, hey, I want to know what you think about Pulaski.
Yeah.
And she says, I've never met a more dedicated physician. And it's like, whoa, Beverly Crusher taking strays. Like Beverly Crusher is watching this episode later like, that fucking bitch. I know that empathy is bullshit. She's like, I know it. There it is. I never knew a more dedicated physician.
That is a pretty big endorsement.
And Picard's big worry is, could she be so consumed with her dedication that it could fuck with her judgment?
Do you know this is funny. This is like, it's sowing the seeds for the humor around the whole episode, which is like Pulaski and Picard are both essentially the same person, but they like both expect the worst out of each other. Because I didn't even realize that Picard even started off with that, when he's like, oh, you think she's going to be a little too like gung-ho and by the book? And Pulaski's like, Picard's a little too gung-ho and by the book.
Yeah, they
but they're both just like experts in their field.
Well, no, it's like whenever I meet somebody that's exactly like me, I just fucking hate them and think they're the world's worst piece of shit, because I just see what I hate about myself in them. So I suspect that they're going through a similar thing. I do like the idea I do like the idea of your boss being like, are you worried that this employee is like so dedicated to being good at their job that it could fuck with their judgment? Like, what the fuck? And
I actually, there was a quote, I don't know, I think it was on like Reddit or Instagram. I don't know. I just saw it the other day, and somebody goes like, it was like, good leaders answer questions, not ignore them. And it's like, yeah, that's a good point. Picard's constantly asking his crew what's going on, and is like, they have the senior staff meetings, and he's like always in tune to what's going on.
Are you sure that's not
him just asking Deanna Troi what's going on?
Are you sure that's not an inspirational poster that you have in your apartment there? That's like leaders listen, leaders lead with listening. And so this conversation is abruptly ended by what, Al? What could possibly end a conversation?
Emergency transmission.
Oh,
right?
A distress call.
A distress call.
Are you fucking kidding me? So they're driving medicine around. They're getting a fucking distress call. It's like, come on, can they go 1 week without the entire fucking Federation needing the Enterprise to do? They're supposed to be on a 5-year mission. Yeah, they're supposed to be on a 5-year mission to explore new. It seems like they're on a 5-year mission to like deliver my prescriptions, quite frankly.
No, and it'd be really ironic too. Starfleet was like, don't send the what is it? Don't send the Enterprise to do anything, because they always get sidetracked. Like, something always happens on their missions.
Shit. Like, we're trying to their 5-year mission has mostly been custodial at this point.
Yeah, it has been kind of weird.
So they get a distress call from the USS Lantry. They're a Federation supply ship.
Lantry, yes.
And they're saying, we can't hold out anymore. We're dying. Help. Oh no. Now we got to go figure this shit out. It's a Class 6 Federation supply ship. It's
hard to, like, even being out there in the middle of space, it's like some medical ship adrift in the ocean, it's like they're pretty screwed. You should go help.
Well, I mean, they're required to by the Federation. Course, yeah. Like they hear the closest
we
ship.
Received the distress call. But
it'd be funny if they were like, "Oh, there's another ship that's like coming up behind us. They'll check it out." There's no life signs. Geordi shows. I do think it's fun when the chief of a department comes onto the bridge and they transfer the controls for their department to the bridge. I don't know why I like that so much, but when Geordi walks in, he comes in and he's like, transfer engineering controls to the bridge. And it's just, I just like the idea that the engineering controls are not there until he says, and I get it. It's like it opens up the channel so that he can control the stuff from there. There's no life signs on the land tree. There's no consciousness for Troy to notice. Riker suggests accessing remotely to take a peek at the bridge, which reaffirms our discussion that we always have about how there's cameras everywhere in these fucking ships that are recording everything. I mean, you could also
Even
look at it like,
crew
well,
dies.
you could also look at it like there's a webcam on the wall and like that they use for their calls and shit, like when they're hailing somebody. But just in general, they always seem to have an angle whenever there's a video that they need to watch. There's a bunch of old looking dead motherfuckers. Pulaski gets up on the bridge and they're like, looks like they had a battle with time and lost. And then Pulaski's like, they died of natural causes. For the record, they died of old age. What? Oh my God. Everybody on the Lantry died of old age. Why did they have a geriatric ship out there? What the hell's going on, Al?
So they immediately have a senior staff meeting, though.
In my notes, it says, ooh, staff meeting. We love that.
That's the best.
Because one of my favorite things that they do in a staff meeting, something that I really like, it's and we should also talk about the video of the dead old people looks pretty fucking funny.
It's ridiculous.
The guy that they zoom in on, the captain, he looks like a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein drawing. Like Bernie, like his face literally has like, that the person who did those makeup effects, like, I'm gonna do like a Wrightson, I'm gonna do like a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein face on this guy.
The lighting is perfect too from the top down.
Yeah, it's great.
Really bright.
So one of the things that I love about a staff meeting is when they listen to the logs of the ship that's fucked up. And they review the logs, and it's like some old dummies had no idea what was going on. The crew was healthy 8 weeks ago. They mentioned that the first officer was treated for the Thelusian flu, which shouldn't cause people to get old, as far as they know.
But I'm surprised they don't like keep that in the back of their mind.
Oh, does that become important later?
Yeah, it does.
The Thelusian flu? Oh, okay, cool. They didn't just mention it. The Thelusian flu. So the last place where the Lantry was, right, is where was here's what was Al, what did Al remember?
Somebody, they picked up like a first officer from one of the ships, and the guy goes onto the Lantry with the Thelusian flu. No,
but it's important. They went to their last port was the Darwin Genetic Research Station. So they think that this the beach that makes you old disease may have originated at the Darwin research statement. Oh, and they talk about Thelusian flu, and she says it's not a virus that would do anything like this. It's
just like some virus.
Picard. It's an exotic but harmless renal virus. It couldn't have caused this.
But yeah, it is pretty interesting how they just try to connect, like, hey, where has the Lantry been, and set a quarantine on this place.
Yeah, simple shit.
That, we just got to figure this out and go back to where it's been.
Yeah, they core the ship.
At least warn them,
They core the ship, and then they head to the Darwin Research Station. So they never actually sent anybody over there, except Data. Didn't they send Data over to the ship to look around at the dead old people? Or
not to Lantry.
Oh, no, nobody went over there yet.
Nobody went over there. They were too freaked out.
Act 2 begins. They get to Gregarian 4, which is the Darwin Research Station. Picard's worried shit's going to be all fucked up down there. And whoops, shit's all fucked up down there.
Yeah, he was right.
So they pull up the view screen and they're talking to an old lady, right? Or not. So here's the thing. She's a lady in her late 50s, right? Mm-hmm. And I love that the bridge crew of the Enterprise, they see this first lady And they're like trying to decide, like, is she unnaturally old or is she regular old? Like, they're tiptoeing around it. Like, because you don't want to rudely say, hey, you look older than you should. You know, like, are you regular old? And they're just tiptoeing around it. And it's one of the fucking funniest shits. And she says, yes, we're old. We're too old.
And this is a good line, too, when the chief medical officer, Bluesky, she goes, hey, what are you dealing with? Like, are you guys okay? And the lady's like, who am I talking to? And she said, Dr. Pulaski. And she goes, Dr. Pulaski, did you do the one who did that studies about like linear regressions of molecular molecules or linear models of viral propagation?
Yeah, linear models of viral propagation.
I wrote that in college. And she was like, but it's still standard. It's perfect. It's exactly who I want to be dealing with.
Yeah, and that's great for Picard. He's like,
okay.
Well,
yeah,
now
Picard's like, this is capabilities test.
She's got her own reputation to live up to now. So there's kids and genetic research kids that are locked up without any symptoms. And they go right back after they talk to this, they get right back to the conference room. They're like, all right, so we got a ship with 26 men dead. These kids represent years of advanced genetic research. She wants them to be, so the crux is, the conflict is, these scientists want to evacuate these genetic test subject kids to the Enterprise because they don't want them to catch the disease that makes you old.
But she assures the Enterprise, like, I swear,
nothing can happen.
Nothing's happened.
The kids can't possibly have it. And this is when we get, like, it seems like 20 minutes of them trying to figure out how they can beam a kid up to the Enterprise without exposing everybody to it. And they they're going to beam the kid up in a chunky, like, styrolite thing, and then they're going to beam him right into a force field. And it's a test of O'Brien's aptitude because he's got to, like, beam the kid in and turn on the force field at, like, the exact time.
And the kid's like wrapped in like this weird cellophane kind of looking thing.
Yeah. And so the kid gets transported over, and it isn't a kid, it's an adult. And then Troy says this thing is a telepathic child that is super mature. So they grew an adult instead of a child, and he's telepathic. And the old scientist lady did not mention any of that. And they're not supposed to do fucking genetic shit like this in the Federation. Like, remember? Like with Khan stuff? Because of Khan, they can't do this shit. So
exactly.
These people are breaking the law, and Picard and the team never mention it.
No, I think it doesn't really like fully hit until Pulaski goes to the station. That is a really good point, though, that you brought up, Adam. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, they're breaking the genetic...
From the get-go, she should have been like, oh, wow. They must be genetically engineered because they're telekinetic.
This is totally illegal. Well, no, the doctor tells them that the kids are genetically engineered. At the beginning, she says, this is years of genetic experimentation, none of which you're supposed to do. Yeah. Like you're definitely not supposed to genetically engineer a super telepath.
And then, also, Deanna Troi was still saying she's still hiding stuff, you know?
Exactly. So this doctor's hiding stuff, and she's doing the most illegal thing they can do in the Federation. That's not a problem in this episode, the context of the story, for some reason. Now, the kids have a super advanced immune system, doesn't seem to have the disease. So they're like, let's crack him out of there. Picard is still worried that the kid is going to infect everyone. But they're saying the kid's biologically harmless. Picard is like, myself... just let me fucking finish my sentences once in a while. Like fucking Pulaski is like right up Picard's ass when they're explaining this stuff, and they have a bit of a dust up. And then after Picard exit, Pulaski asks Troy, she's like, Picard doesn't see the human side of shit. And Troy is like, oh, he obviously does.
I laughed so hard at that part because I was like, the whole first season, like half of the episodes are Picard being like, hey, let's not be assholes.
We have to preserve the human shit. And Troy, this is when Troy is like trying to nicely tell her, like, you guys are exactly the same, and that's why you argue. She basically says you both have well-established. She says you both have well-established personalities.
This is the nicest way to say that.
I've had people say that to me about me not jiving with somebody else. They're like, well, you both have big personalities, and it's like, I get it. I'm fucking annoying, dude. Like,
or
I know.
It's just like two leaders, two chiefs, two chefs.
So Pulaski, right? They both are experts, like you said.
Yeah,
and
like they both want to get to the
odds.
conclusion.
So Pulaski dials up Kingsley, the doctor on the ground, to say that shit's fucked up. Pulaski goes to Geordi for a solution, and Geordi suggests a shuttlecraft. Like they're still trying to get somebody down there or check shit out. Pulaski gives a little, and Picard lets her take the shuttle.
That's what's so great about that interaction too, and just Pulaski's interaction with Geordi. Because it's like, it's such a simple solution, even though they had this giant staff meeting to figure out like, oh, okay, we can encase the kid and then like put him in free animation, but like we can scan him and not really. And Geordi's like, the shuttle. I mean, like you could literally just fly away from the ship.
Right?
It's a separate room.
and then Pulaski says,
oh, fuck yes.
Pulaski says, Data, you're coming with me as my pilot since you're just a thing that can't get old.
Data's
so I don't care what happens to you. And I love one of my favorite things is I love the fucking slow shuttle door that opens. It's just like the slow ass, like it reminds me of the Rick and Morty when Rick is putting down the ramp it's like a slow ramp and he's like, oh, they fucking get hard for the fucking slow ramp. That's what I thought
that scene that you brought up, that was really nice where Picard's like, I understand, Pulaski, that you're trying to satisfy my conditions. So,
yes.
I mean, what am I going to do? No, you're still going to do it.
I see that you are trying to help me in the correct way that I said I wanted you to. It's like when somebody does the thing you ask them to, but it's like, you're like, I wish you hadn't because I wanted to keep hating you.
No, but it's also like, I think a sense of realization from Picard where he's like, oh yeah, I could be that stubborn as well. Like, time to get the hell out of the way. Let the expert do the expert thing.
Let the expert do the expert thing, dude. You're absolutely right.
It's like, that's part of being, a leader, learning to get out of the way, letting your team do its thing. So it is pretty smart too of her to bring Data. Obviously, first choice,
So of course, I would want Data with me even if he could get old, because and I like that they just fly right over next to the other ship. For some reason, it's just so funny to me that like they just like the ships are next to each other. They just cruise up. It looks like they're like 20 feet away. Like, why wouldn't they just do whatever they're doing from the Enterprise? Because it really doesn't seem like they are that far away.
Is this also the first time when O'Brien is like fairly involved in the episode with the transporter and definitely the senior staff and stuff?
It's definitely the most O'Brien. And this is where they have to figure out they got the guy encased in plastic, and they're going to beam him onto the shuttle so that they can do their experiment on the shuttle without exposing anybody else. And so O'Brien watches the plastic guy get beamed to the shuttle. It seems fishy. Like, did he get that infected in like a nanosecond too late or something? And then this motherfucker is not just a little telepathic. Like, he just only speaks in telepathy. Like, he's like super brain whiz.
His eyes get really big and he just like stares at Pulaski, and Pulaski's like, yeah, oh my gosh, I understand everything.
Now remember,
like, huh?
These kids supposedly cannot, like, what's so funny is knowing what we know about COVID-19. We know that you can not have symptoms, but you could carry the virus. So that's
like in every zombie like infection, viral, whatever. It's like, well, who's the carrier? We got to find the carrier.
Exactly. We got to find patient zero is what they call it. And so Picard's like, she's been in the presence of the boy for 18 minutes. So Data, as a robot, he can't hear the kid speaking telepathically, the guy speaking telepathically, which is cool. And so while they're on the shuttlecraft, Pulaski goes, "Ooh, I got a pain." Uh-oh.
Yeah,
and,
it was so funny because she was just like, "I'm totally fine, Data. I mean, obviously, I'm up to, what did she say? I'm up to factory standards.
Arthritis. She got the shit.
And then she just goes, arthritis.
Yep, they beam the kid back.
Yeah,
and then
Pulaski just seems honestly furious. She's just like, God, fuck, just send the kid back for Christ's sake.
Fucking blew it. She's like,
yeah,
I fucked
up.
Sucks. Oh my God.
Well, it's just like, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because her argument was like, we have to get some data. Like, we have to start from some point, if we just like do things without any context or any information, like we're not going to be able to move forward. Like, I have to test this kid.
And so then Act 3 or whatever, Pulaski's communicating with Picard, and yeah, she's freaking out. She knows she fucked up.
Yeah.
She done fucked up. It's the initial symptom of the disease. Picard's like, "What can we do?" And I don't know, maybe not let me do this. If I was her, I'd be like, "Why'd you let me do this? You knew it was a bad idea." But now that she's already got the shit, she can go down to she can
Data
pop on
goes,
down to the station, right?
Yeah. Data goes, "Should we go back to the station?" And she's like, "I mean, they're all infected. It's quarantined already. Like, we're quarantined too.
Yeah.
What else are we going to do, right?"
Yep.
And, I do love, though, the beginning of the senior staff meeting. Picard's like, "Man, now that this situation kind of turned this, we can't consider this Darwin situation like top priority, because now we have our chief medical officer and Data involved in this. Now Data's not going to get sick, but it's like he could still carry something, or like, who knows?"
Yeah, they don't know.
They're the priority.
They don't know.
And after we figure them out, we'll help the station.
So Pulaski, so this is where, look, so they kind of break it down. They do a staff meeting again. This is like staff meeting 4 or some shit. So here's what they got to do. They come to this solution that I don't know why they don't do this every time. We've talked about it a million times. What do they do, Al?
They use the transporter.
What?
I think, look, honestly, for us, we've seen the animated series. So, like, this has already been the writer's cop-out for quite some time.
But also the original series.
No, what did they do in the original series, though?
I don't know, but they definitely did it.
Used it, though.
It's
You're
not
right.
It's not the Muppet Babies one, because that's the cartoon where they're all babies at the end. So,
and then whenever they get sick, probably.
So basically,
they must have done it in the original.
What's so funny is, so they have a filter on the transporters, right?
Yeah, the biofilter.
The biofilter
call
that
it.
filters shit out. But here's the thing. It only filters out known shit that it can find. That is not useful when you're exploring space. You need a biofilter that filters out unknown shit. That's actually the scarier shit, biofilter.
No, exactly. And it's like, I don't know. They always bring up that point, too, at the senior staff meeting. They're like, how are we going to filter out stuff that we don't know what to filter out?
Just filter out everything that you don't recognize.
And then, yeah, exactly.
Just filter out everything that's not you.
Yeah, right. Let's just start there. Yeah, exactly. I think one of them just goes like, why don't we just use Pulaski's last data transmission?
So this is where
we'll be able to do that.
O'Brien is the one that comes up with it this time. He says, let's just use her old transporter pattern. But
it's so funny though.
But she's kind of like a Bones.
What? Yeah.
She doesn't transport very much. So they don't have a transporter pattern of her. They don't have a contact, right? But
yeah, exactly.
But so they even they reach out to her old ship to ask if they have her transporter pattern stored, and she doesn't, because she didn't fucking transport very much. But this is what you're telling me
that's even the kicker though. He goes, no, we deleted it as soon as she left.
Yeah,
and he's like, God damn it,
because why would we ever do that? We can't just resurrect people.
He's like, why would
which
we
is
save
exactly
that?
what they would. But here, the interesting thing is, what if they only had like a transporter pattern from like 6 years ago? So she would be 6 years younger, but would she have the same brain? Because that's what they're trying to do. They're going to compare it against her 6 years ago or whatever and filter out everything that's not that. So would it also filter out her brain neurons and memories that she's made? That's so fucking
I feel like
sick.
that's like a further rewrite or another script for another time, especially with the mental stuff that happens with the transporter. But yeah, I thought it was sorry, what were you saying?
No, you're good.
I was just thinking though that it is really funny that Pulaski barely transports, and on top of that, she was in such a rush to join
Oh.
Picard and the Enterprise. Even Picard's like, Well, that's kind of weird. She knows my my entire, victory history or war history.
When he's talking to her old captain, the old captain, like, by the way, she fucking loves you, dude.
Yeah.
You're her favorite captain ever. And Picard's like, well, I was kind of a dick to her earlier. Maybe should have been nicer.
Yeah, to her. It feels like a unstoppable object meets an immovable force.
Right.
Kind of deal. They're both just like very, very big personalities.
So Pulaski and Data get down to the station. Kingsley gives them a rundown on all the should be highly illegal shit that they're doing down there with these genetic experiments. The kids are all dressed in 80s fitness jumpers and they're telepathic as hell. They think it might have something to do with the Thelusian flu. Like their immune system would go out, find the virus, and alter the genetic code, right?
Yeah, Pulaski's eyes open really big and she's like, Data, I need a molecular level analysis of the Thelusian flu and these kids. And the other doctor's like, that'll take months.
Forget that I'm racist against you at all times. I need you to set that aside and not be mad at like she's like, Data, I need you to set aside the fact that I don't think you're a person and I need your help with this.
Right.
And the children's so basically Data's got to do some supercomputing to compare genetic shit to other genetic shit. And they find out that what's happening is the children's immune system attacked the Thelusian flu and created a virus / DNA that makes people go to the beach where they get old, basically.
It switches, you know how like we have CTAG in our DNA and they all like connect together through like this double helix or whatever.
I'll take your word for it.
They're like the ends of these synapses basically that connect together in our DNA.
It's all magic to me. I don't know.
He goes, they
expert.
simply just switch 2 letters out. And I guess those 2 letters help with the aging.
Those 2 letters make you old. So their immune system farts and affects your DNA, basically, because that's what happens. Their immune system
Pulaski
is radiating.
But Pulaski goes, since our DNA does the RNA and splits off and it's self-replicating.
Sure.
Data's like, there's no
other
reverse.
Letters.
There's no like undo for that.
Yeah, irreversible.
Once we take on a genetic condition, it just changes, right? It's like a mutant kind of deal.
Exactly. So the children, they're going to survive, but the rest of them are just about out of time. Pulaski's acting through her makeup is pretty bonkers. The old people makeup is a fucking lot in this, right?
It just gets like more caked on and heavier and heavier.
The quarantine of Darwin Station must be maintained forever. Right? Everybody is old as fuck at the end of Act 4. They beam Data back, and even though he's a robot, they're extremely careful.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, they don't have Pulaski's trace pattern for O'Brien, but they could use a blood sample to filter out her junk DNA from her correct DNA.
Yeah, and
like, this took you a long time to get to that.
Yeah, it did kind of take them that could have. Like they ended the senior staff meeting too early,
That's the less sci-fi as magic solution, right? Like the idea of finding a 4-year-old transporter pattern and reconstituting her from that with her memories intact.
Yeah.
That seems crazier to me than we'll use her blood sample. And they don't have a blood sample for her even. So they have to go get a hair off of her brush because she's a lady.
And while that's happening, O'Brien's like, I mean, I guess I could just like switch out this filter for the biofilter. But I mean, it'll take a sec. But Picard's like, do it right now. And like O'Brien looks at his like intern or his coworker and he's like, you heard him. Open these panels. Like, I guess we're gonna just redo this whole transporter right now.
Right. And so
then it is funny. They're trying to like run around the Enterprise and be like, oh God, she hasn't like any blood, any like clothes. Like they start going through her clothes and stuff, and it's like, geez.
Right. And they end up getting a hair off her brush.
The hairbrush, yeah.
Now,
like, the hairbrush.
The next time we see Pulaski, she looks a little bit more like a different character whose name starts with a P. Emperor Palpatine. She really has got the crazy old shit. And the funny thing is, she's just like, let's fucking do it. They're like, hey, we might kill you. We might turn you into like a Cronenberg monster by doing this. And she's like, if I live through this, I'll have a better understanding of geriatrics. Let's fucking go.
And also, too, her makeup, it's like all caked on and layered. But it's the reason why I say caked, it's just like, it looks like somebody took a blow dryer and just like pressed it against her face constantly.
Melted the stuff. Yeah, the HD is unkind to the HD remaster is often unkind to the practical the practical aging effects, but I think that they do a pretty good job considering the fact that they were still kind of flying by the seat of their ass in this season.
Yeah, this looks great.
Now, if this doesn't work, Pulaski's going to have to stay down there and die. Picard says, I'll operate the transporter so you don't have to kill her.
Dude,
to O'Brien. O'Brien's like, oh my God. The look on O'Brien's face where he's like, I was so worried that he was going to make me kill this lady. Holy shit. And it's not working originally. Oh no, she's going to die. O'Brien makes some tweaks on the fly.
Yeah.
And she comes back.
Does he not tell her that like she might not live?
Oh yeah. He tells her that not only are you going to die, not only might you die, but if this doesn't work, you have to stay down there. So it's a twofold fucked.
Yeah.
It's a twofold.
No, and then right as they go into the transport room, O'Brien's like, yo, this is actually one way only. Like, we won't be able to send her back.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And Picard's like, well, if we're going to send her to Oblivion, I'll press the button.
Yeah.
O'Brien's like, yes, please do.
Right.
And I don't want that on my conscience.
And so she comes back. She gets beamed in.
O'Brien saves her, though.
And she's just regular old. She gets a big hug from her favorite stern Captain Picard.
I think it's like, holy shit, relief, I'm alive, But
here's
you'd hug anybody at the point.
And here's the fucking thing, though. They then get blood samples for all the people on Darwin Station and save them doing the same shit. So why will anybody ever die of disease again if they have a transporter?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? They do this, and it's like, you would think Next Generation would kind of get away from this godlike stuff. But yeah, dude, anytime a character has a disease from now on, I'm just going to be like, why don't they just get a blood sample from before they had the disease? Oh, you don't have that? Well, go get a hair from before they had the disease.
Yeah. And also, like, why did they have to not genetically, but just modify the transporter in the first place? Like, there's got to be some guy out there that's like, why don't we make a genetic biotransporter and filter all these diseases out?
Dude, they are
maybe that's like Deep Space Nine stuff.
They get there.
When
they
everybody's like,
they get there. They in Discovery, they filter out all the shit. Now, Pulaski covers everything in her chief medical log. They go back to the Lantry and vaporize it, and then they set course speed for Star Station India. Oh yeah, that's right. Remember they were doing some other urgent shit?
Yeah, exactly. They're on their way to pick something up from Starbase India.
And that is our synopsis of Unnatural Selection. What'd you think, Al?
This was a really good episode.
I liked it a lot.
I think it had, for one, it was just on the Enterprise. It was just like on ships in space. They didn't land on any planet. There's no cheesy like race of aliens being like, these are our customs and da-da-da-da. Like we've kind of left that whole like, I mean, ironically,
no diplomacy
their ship is for
in
discovering.
This.
But it's like, there's
no
less
politics.
of them finding policy and planets and stuff. This is more like character-based driven episodes of like them trying to complete some goal, right? Like we had the literal problem of the doctor trying to figure out this genetic disease, but then we had like the character issue of like Picard and Pulaski finally getting along.
Dude.
And that whole funny bit at the end too, when Picard's like, your atoms could have been spread out in space, and Pulaski's like, I fucking think that shit's gonna happen every time. So
yeah, she's like, that is no different.
She just like
have
rolls
you ever heard
her
of
eyes.
Have you ever heard of a Dr. Henry Bones McCoy?
Yeah, right.
I learned everything I know about hating transporters from him.
No, it was really solid though. Like they got the sci-fi in. I guess my only complaint, and I kind of agree with you, is that like, how did they not get to some conclusions quicker? I wanted to give this episode, I wanted to give this episode a 4. I like it a lot, but the reason I'm not going to do that when we rate it is because they never once say this shit is illegal. Like they already knew it was illegal. Like Wrath of Khan has happened already. Wrath of Khan happened 50 fucking years ago. They know that they can't do genetics experiments. Yeah. It's like a story in Ol's time too, where it's like a fountain of youth thing, or people or the human race always trying to like do something to better themselves, which it's like noble, but it always leads to like death,
eugenics. It always becomes eugenics.
Eugenics, yeah.
They were these. They
who
were
decides,
and
really.
These scientists basically admitted that's what they were doing.
Right.
They're like, we're going to replace everybody with these.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to replace everybody with these guys. They should have had more problems with that. They should have been like, we need to transport these kids somewhere to study them, and also they're in prison.
It's like cool to think about, and it's like on the surface, oh yeah, that'd be cool, but then it's like, that's just kind of, I don't know, it always ends in eugenics, like you said. It's just shitty.
It's even illegal in Picard, like when they do the show Picard. Well, no, Picard is about making robots is illegal, I think. Yeah, that's right. Because at some point in the future of Starfleet, a bunch of artificial humanoids do a terrorist attack on Mars.
They're fighting for their rights, right?
Sort of,
Robo rights or something.
Yeah, robo rights. Now, so I liked it. I thought it was quite good. I like the Pulaski Picard stuff. It's funny that she ends up not being on the show for super long. They're doing all this legwork to make her like an integral part of the crew. We'll get to that. But so let's just get right to the ratings. Oh, wait, yes. I want to see if there's... Yeah, I don't have any don't forget stuff. So I'm going to give it... how many telepathic guys wrapped in plastic... How many telepathic guys in a blister pack do you give this? I'm going to go with a 3.5 because of they missed all the genetic shit. They missed how illegal it was. Like they stumbled on the most illegal shit ever, and they just didn't notice.
And they saved them all,
right?
But I don't know. I think it was like, I guess I would give this. I guess I'm right with you. My two big complaints are that, but I'd give it a 4. I like the character of Pulaski a lot.
Good. I like it when we don't align.
And the lines that she gives are pretty good. Picard's rants are nice. I just like that this is more, I don't mean to say like quote unquote realistic sci-fi and stuff. It's just better than them running into like the alien of the week and blowing shit up. And
I do love
careful. It's like more like, oh shit, this is like a science issue and like health and viral diseases and what are we gonna do?
Prescient to our times.
There's impending doom.
And prescient to our times. It's very relevant. One thing, I totally fucking lost it. I was gonna say something incredibly relevant to this discussion, and it just left my brain. And so, yeah, good. That was our discussion of unnatural selection. I get it. Oh, I thought it was very interesting that the tests. I'm so glad I remembered this because it's like my favorite thing about the episode. So these test subjects, their immune systems are so fucking strong that they cause immunity to radiate out from them. Like their molecules, they create a cloud of immunity that actually makes people who don't have that cloud sick. So that's good. And that
and it's funny too, though. Like as soon as a scientist says that, Pulaski's like, "Oh no,
their DNA farts and we all die and we get old." It's the DNA fart that makes you old.
That? You know, it's like these kids never get sick because their immune system anticipates everything.
Yeah, and it goes out and it starts fighting stuff in advance, so the immune system makes a more advanced form of the virus to fight it. It's rad.
The antibodies were that bird, from the animated series. It was like a master race.
Yes. So that's our discussion of unnatural selection, which brings us to the final segment of our morning here.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
So I'm going to start with the recommendations because it's kind of sad. I found out recently that Bruce Campbell has cancer. And they say it's treatable but not curable. And so he canceled all of his appearances and shit. So I'm going to just recommend that if you have, go watch Evil Dead 2. It is possibly one of the best physically comedic performances since like Buster Keaton. Like I think that Bruce Campbell's physical acting, particularly in Evil Dead 2, like when he's fighting with his own hand and it flips him over and stuff, it's like he's the best. And it's very sad, but he's got so much good shit to watch. Even the TV show that was just ended like 5 years ago or whatever, even that's very good. So watch Evil Dead 2, watch Army of Darkness, watch all of his little cameos in the Spider-Mans. But yeah,
those are great.
Yeah. So do you have a more cheerful recommendation for us, Al?
Oh no, it's like darker music, but kind of more techno. It's this guy named Gesaffelstein.
Gesaffelstein? How do you spell that?
It's Gesaffelstein.
Gesaffelstein.
And he just came out with this live record called Enter the Gamma. It was a show that toured through like LA and a bunch of other places.
Gamma.
I missed out. I was pretty sad. But it's an hour and 8 minutes of him just like messing with his stems and like, doing all these crazy mashups. And it's like a very high energy show, especially at the end. It's kind of more akin to like industrial-esque music. It's a little more it gets very heavy at the end and a lot of kicks and stuff. Cool. It's cool though. It's very well recorded. I like the live shows that like have the audience reactions in them too. So hearing people like get shocked at the mashups or like the idea, the smoothness of it all.
The idea of a live DJ record is very fascinating to me because they're performing live and they aren't, Sort
of, yeah. But it's like I think the best is when somebody has so much power over like the stems of their own music to where they're mixing their own stems, where it's like, it's a drum line from this song, but it's the lead from that song, and it's like that kind of requires some coordination, right? Some forethought.
They're definitely performing live. That's not what I was trying to. I just think it's interesting when something that isn't a band is captured live and released on a record, basically. Yeah, I think it's very cool.
This shit better be worth it, It's like, we're not going to hear the songs of the crowd, right? Like,
but you'll hear people be like, yeah!
No, that's how I felt exactly.
When it's like, Mortal Kombat! And everybody goes, yeah! And then the Mortal Kombat theme starts. I bet, like, if I was a DJ, I would drop that Mortal Kombat sample in the middle, and everybody be like, "Yeah!" Like that's like you can have that for free when you start playing shows. Like just drop that Mortal Kombat in there, and everybody will fucking go nuts. So that's
Gesaffelstein.
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 It might be like a German thing. It might be like
maybe, yeah, but he's from Paris, so.
And what's the album called?
Enter the Gamma. But that's what I was going to say, though, about the point you made. Alive 2007 by Daft Punk. Like, I didn't really get the whole live thing. And then I heard that record. And as a kid, I was like, oh, I get it. So I would recommend that one too.
Possibly
so
a good
Gamma and Alive 2007.
Enter the Gamma and Alive 2007 might be a good double feature for you out there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thanks for listening. This was episode 153 of Trek in the Valley. Come back next week when we are going to be discussing A Matter of Honor. It's funny.
Yes.
A Matter of Honor. It's funny because it's a Klingon episode with like little to no Worf. Very little Worf. It's basically Worf being like, you're going to do Klingon stuff? Fucked up. Be prepared for some fucked up shit.
I think it's more of like Riker being like, this is nothing. I can do this.
And then he
like
does a pretty
flexing.
good fucking job too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk to you next week when we discuss Matter of Honor. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Peace.
153. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordal-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.